Could Nikola Tesla have discovered a revolutionary method of producing free energy before being silenced by powerful interests that wanted to keep it secret? This is a controversial topic, but there are some compelling arguments and evidence to support the idea that he did. In fact, in this video, we'll show you exactly what Tesla did and why it was so dangerous that they had to silence him. Let's get started. Nikola Tesla, the brilliant but eccentric inventor and electrical engineer, is best known for his contributions to the development of alternating current AC and the induction motor. He was also a prolific writer of patents and published hundreds of papers on a wide variety of topics from radio to nuclear energy. However, one of his most controversial claims was that he had discovered a new source of unlimited free energy. Tesla's concept of free energy was based on the idea that there is a fundamental source of energy that is available to us at all times, and that we can use it to power our devices without any cost or environmental impact. He believed that this source of energy could be tapped into using a special device that he called a magnifying transmitter, which was basically a resonant transformer circuit that could amplify low-frequency currents into high-frequency ones. Tesla claimed that by using this device he could generate enormous amounts of electricity from nothing, and he even went as far as saying that he had demonstrated his invention to J.P. Morgan, the financier who had funded much of his previous work. However, when Tesla asked for more funding to build a larger version of his magnifying transmitter that could power the entire world, Morgan refused and allegedly ordered him to be thrown out of the building. This mysterious event has led to speculation that Tesla's discovery of free energy was deliberately covered up by the powers that be, because it threatened the existing power structures and industries such as the oil and gas companies. Utilities and governments would lose billions of dollars in revenue if everyone had access to free energy. One of the most intriguing aspects of Tesla's story is the claim that he actually built a working model of his magnifying transmitter, and that he used it to transmit wireless power to a receiver coil located on top of a mountain near Wardenclyffe, New York. According to reports, Tesla was able to use this system to generate enough electricity to power several light bulbs, which would have been an incredible feat considering that wireless power transmission was not invented until decades after Tesla's death. Unfortunately, there is very little physical evidence left of Tesla's alleged free energy device. Most of what we know about it comes from eyewitness accounts of those who saw it in operation or who worked on it with Tesla. One such person was Charles Steinmetz, a mathematician and electrical engineer who assisted Tesla with his experiments at the Colorado Springs laboratory. Steinmetz later gave a talk about Tesla's work, in which he described seeing a small device that looked like a Tesla coil produce an enormous amount of electricity. According to Steinmetz, Tesla was able to use this device to generate a current of over 100 million volts and 100 amps, which was far beyond anything that conventional technology could produce at the time. Another witness was George Measley, a journalist who visited Tesla's laboratory in 1937 and wrote about the experience in a magazine article. Beasley reported that he saw a strange box in the corner of the lab that he was not allowed to examine closely, but he claimed that it was connected to a receiver coil on top of a mountain nearby. Beasley also reported that Tesla told him in confidence that he had discovered a new source of energy that could provide power to the entire world, but that he had kept it secret because he feared that it would fall into the wrong hands. Perhaps the most compelling evidence of Tesla's free energy device comes from the eyewitness testimony of John O'Neill, a science journalist who spent several months with Tesla in the early 1930s. O'Neill claimed that he saw Tesla demonstrate a wireless transmission system that was powered by a small device that emitted a strange humming sound. According to O'Neill, Tesla told him that he had discovered a new force of nature that he called cosmic energy, which could be harnessed to produce an unlimited supply of power. O'Neill also reported that Tesla showed him a letter from J.P. Morgan expressing interest in funding further research into this new energy source, but that Morgan had mysteriously disappeared before any further developments could be made. In addition to these eyewitness accounts, there is also some physical evidence that supports the idea that Tesla was working on a free energy device. For example, in 1987, a man named William Linegar purchased a large metal coil from an estate sale at Tesla's former home in New York. Linegar believed that the coil was the same one that Tesla had used to transmit wireless power to Wardenclyffe, and he brought it to the University of Colorado at Boulder for testing. According to the scientists who examined the coil, it was unlike any other piece of equipment that they had ever seen before, and they were unable to determine how it worked. While this is not conclusive evidence of free energy, it does add some credence to the story of Tesla's alleged discovery. Now let's look at the potential implications of Tesla's discovery of free energy if it were true. First, it would mean that we have an unlimited supply of clean, renewable energy available to us at all times. We would no longer have to rely on fossil fuels or nuclear power, which are both finite resources with significant environmental impacts. Second, it would mean that we would never have to worry about energy costs again. If we could harness free energy, it would effectively eliminate our dependence on energy companies and governments and give us complete control over our own energy supply. Third, it would mean that we would have access to a virtually limitless amount of power. If Tesla was able to generate millions of volts and amps using a small device, imagine what we could accomplish with a larger one. We could power entire cities, countries, and even the entire planet without ever running out of energy. The potential benefits of free energy are truly staggering, which is why it's so important to investigate Tesla's claims and the evidence that he left behind. Unfortunately, there is a lot of skepticism surrounding the idea of free energy because it seems to violate the laws of physics, specifically the conservation of energy principle, which states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred or converted from one form to another. Skeptics argue that if free energy were possible, it would mean that we could create more energy than we put in, which would violate this fundamental law of physics. They also point out that there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of free energy, and that all of the purported evidence of Tesla's discovery is anecdotal or based on eyewitness testimony, which is inherently unreliable. For example, there is no physical evidence left of Tesla's magnifying transmitter or Wardenclyffe Tower, and none of the scientists who worked with Tesla, such as Albert Einstein, ever mentioned free energy or wireless power transmission in their writings. Furthermore, the story of J.P. Morgan funding Tesla's research and then silencing him has been called into question by historians who claim that there is no evidence that Morgan ever met with Tesla, or that he had any interest in funding his research. Despite the skepticism, there is still a small but vocal group of people who believe that Tesla did discover free energy and that it was deliberately covered up by the powers that be to maintain the existing power structures and prevent disruption to the status quo. They argue that the eyewitness testimony and physical evidence that exists is enough to warrant further investigation, and that the alleged cover-up is a conspiracy that goes deep into the highest levels of government and industry. This alleged cover-up is said to have been motivated by a number of factors, including the desire to maintain control over energy production and distribution, protect the profits of the oil and gas companies, and prevent the public from having access to a limitless supply of free energy. The powers that be are said to have used their influence to suppress Tesla's research, discredit his claims, and prevent him from building a larger version of his magnifying transmitter. They are also said to have orchestrated the destruction of any remaining evidence of Tesla's work and silenced anyone who came forward with information about it. The alleged cover-up has been successful for many years, but there are signs that it may finally be coming to an end. As more and more people become aware of Tesla's claims and the evidence that he left behind, the pressure to investigate his work is growing. There is also a growing distrust of the government and energy companies, which is making it harder for them to suppress information about free energy. There is one thing that we can all agree on. Nikola Tesla was a genius, and he changed the world with his inventions. But what he did next might just change everything. Even though Tesla died in 1943, his work continues to inspire and intrigue people around the world. Whether or not he discovered free energy, his legacy lives on in the minds of those who believe that there is still so much more to discover about the universe and its infinite possibilities. Tesla's story is one of innovation, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. He was a man who dared to dream big and push the boundaries of what was possible, and in doing so, he left behind a legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. We hope you enjoyed learning more about Nikola Tesla and his groundbreaking discoveries. If you want to learn more about the history of electricity and the men who powered our modern world, please stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Did Nikola Tesla really discover free energy? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and share this video with others who might be interested in this fascinating topic. We would also love to hear your ideas for future videos, so feel free to drop us a comment with your suggestions. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.